This is a universal business principle, is that if you want to make more money, you should be spending more of your time doing things that are more expensive to delegate that you are uniquely qualified to do. We're going to look at the number that is most red, that needs the most improvement, and then work on that thing. That's how we work with people at GMN and get them to freaking scale up to crazy numbers way quicker than most people do.
Member Machine Podcast.
Beautiful people. Dear David is recovering from his cold, and we're going to make life really easy on him today, where he can just ask your burning questions. We got a bunch of questions. So I was recently at an event, and it was kind of a ballsy thing, Dave. I feel like it was a little bit ballsy, where I had a 75-minute slot to talk, and I had this whole thing, a bunch of slides and everything else prepared about ads. But I was like, we can do this one of two ways. So I can do the talk I prepared, or we can do the old sticky note trick where you write down all your burning questions and we stick them up on the wall. And then I had a couple of members of the team there, and the goal is to have an empty wall by the end of the thing. And James Pratt specifically complimented. He's like, that was a ballsy thing to do. Like, just do like straight Q&A for 75 minutes. So I got good feedback, not just from James, because I feel like that's cheating because he's a buddy, but also from others. It's just like not a good video, not an awesome, I think, viewing experience for the viewers and listeners. But I do think it would be helpful to just like go through. It's been a few weeks, so hopefully I still do a good job with this to answer your burning questions, dear gym owners and listeners. We've compiled these from different sources, questions that you've asked, questions that I've been asked at events, things like that. And so we're going to answer as many questions as we can about running ads for gyms and how to make them work for you. David, does that sound good?
Sounds great. We've got these questions categorized into categories. The first is beginner.
As one does.
Yes, as beginner, I have no idea what I'm doing. First question, do Facebook ads actually work for gyms anymore?
Do they still work? Yes, they absolutely still work. We should like put up a clip of the Client Wins channel in GMM, right? To like show how well they're working right now. But conceptually speaking, is it absolutely more competitive than it used to be? Absolutely. And I feel like we've talked about that pretty extensively in other episodes, right? The necessity of being good, the hurdle for being good is much higher than it used to be in, 2018, 2016, what have you. And so the hurdle for being good at every level of the process, from how good is the actual ad itself, how good is the copy, how strong is the offer, how good's the creative, how well are we doing with optimizing the ads, and so on and so forth. And then what happens after the person opts in? So are we good on the phone? Is the follow-up fast? Are we hitting speed, quantity, and quality? How to get more leads to book and then show up for the gym, but how good is the follow-up process? And then that hurdle for excellence continues even into the back-end operation of the gym. So you have to be better at sales than you used to be. The expectations for what excellence looks like in terms of just operating the gym and the service requirement are also higher, right? So you think back to like 2011, like you could show up to a freaking like this. The irony of it is, one of the gyms that I joined, I think we're already going to release the CrossFit episode, so people will have heard that I joined CrossFit again this year, but it was also the closest gym to me. This was a different gym when we moved back to Texas, and I wanted to do something athletic, blah, 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 all that shit. Dude, that gym, it was like 2011, right? I feel like this little market, we're in these suburbs, are kind of like behind a lot of the gym industry, personally, like where we're living. And so it would be like, you're showing up late, the owner doesn't have a shirt on, the workouts are being written like 5 minutes after the session was supposed to start, like that type of thing that used to be cool. Oh, like, yeah, like we, Rage Against the Machine, like we're doing CrossFit. Used to be cool. It's a lot like less cool now, right? I feel like the general gym population's like, dude, like we got shit to do. Like we need to start on time. Like coaching needs to be good. You can't be on your phone the whole session. Like the bar for excellence and what people will accept from a service perspective is also higher because there are more choices. It's more competitive. So do they still work? Yes. Do you have to be more excellent in different areas to make them work? Absolutely. Do we still see gyms like winning like crazy every single day, hitting revenue records, like all those fun things? Yeah. Like go look at our testimonials and shit. Like it's still doing its thing. It's just harder than it used to be.
Question 2, how much should I spend on ads to see results?
It's going to depend. So that ads are very different market to market. So what works and is acceptable in one market may be completely inappropriate for another market. My favorite story with this is back in the day when it was literally just me, like when I was like prematurely grained douchebag doing ads for a handful of gyms. I was doing the marketing for a little guy by the name of Rick Mayo. He's not a little guy. He's big and jacked and handsome, and he's the CEO of Alloy Personal Training. But this was back when they had one location, and that market in this like affluent suburb of Georgia was the hardest market. By that point, I had played in like I had like a client in LA. I've had a client in Manhattan at that point. Like we'd played in some other like really competitive markets, but that like Roswell, Georgia market for some reason at that point in time was like the most competitive, crazy market to try to get leads in. Again, this is back probably 8, maybe 10 years ago, in that range where like pretty much everybody else was probably getting $5, $10, $15 leads. And that was like $15 leads was like, oh my gosh, like this is so expensive. Markets are different. So at the time I was working my ass off to get like 40, 50, $60 leads for Rick. And so they'd bring in everybody and their mother to try to compete against the prematurely graying douchebag in the freaking basement, right? Doing ads. And one of the biggest agencies at the time, they're now out of business, came in. I think they were the biggest agency in the space. Came in, talked about a bunch of shit. Oh, this guy's getting you 40, 50, $60 leads. We're going to get you so many leads, you're not even going to know what to do with them. They came back really quickly when those 30, 40, 50, $60 leads turned into 300, 350, $400 leads. Markets are different. And so what I recommend for folks in most markets is if you are starting off running ads for the first time, start with a $15 to $30 a day testing budget. That tends to be a pretty okay sweet spot to start testing in most markets. And then you're going to go based on what the data is telling you. So if you're putting $30 a day into the machine, or let's make it monthly. So 30 times 30 sounds like $900 a month. If you're putting $900 a month into the ads machine and you're getting out 900 that's going to turn into recurring revenue, or 1800, it's like we should probably attempt to raise that budget, right? We should see if we can turn, because 900 month one, even with a little bit of churn, is going to turn into an additional 750 month two at minimum, right? With a little bit of churn and so on and so forth. It's going to continue to stack because it's recurring revenue. But if you're breaking even or making a cash on cash return in those first 30 days, you're going to try to raise the budget until Facebook tells you like that's the peak for your market, right? And so, peaks in markets tend to be lower than they used to be back in the day. Again, like we used to run Alloy pre-sales, and one of the guys was like, keep pushing the budget. Money's not an object. Like, I want you to go as high as you can. We used to be able to get to like 400, $450 a day before we start to see lead efficiency like really take a hit. Now you might see that at 100 or $150 a day, where say you're spending $150 a day and you're getting 10 leads. Well, the client wants you to raise the budget because they're making money, and you go to 175 or $200 a day and you're still getting 10 leads. Well, Meta's telling you that you should bring that budget down because your peak optimized budget is in that, whatever, let's say $150 a day in this case. So, yeah, it's going to vary. I recommend starting at a testing budget and then increasing based on, what you're seeing data wise from your specific market.
Should I run ads myself or hire someone?
Yeah, that one we've talked about already. Like we got a whole episode on like, should you run your own ads? The short answer is probably freaking not. And it makes even less sense with the offer we're running right now, right? We're still doing our 30-day free trial at GMM. Like you pay for the ad spend, you pay for the usage of the phone system. If you want to do that, it's like it makes very, very little sense for you to attempt to learn how to be excellent at the ads thing when it's so hard, right? The bar is higher everywhere else. Like, hey, if we can like take the ads thing off your plate for less than the cost of like a solid offshore VA, and you got a whole team of experts in every little area that can help you be more excellent on the other places. Same thing like James Pratt said. Like, why would I run my own ads? Like I can take the hours that I would spend a week trying to do that well and put that into making my team and my product better, which then makes me more money because I'm going to get more referrals. People are going to stay longer, what have you. Like, does it make much sense to run your own ads? Probably not. Particularly if you can just like claim a free 30-day trial at GMM. Could you? Maybe. It just takes skills, and we can answer more questions. I think as we keep going, there's like, what does good copy look like? Do we have tips for that? And what offers and things like that? So we're not going to hold back on giving you information to be able to do this yourself. I just don't think it makes sense for a gym owner that's like trying to scale. This is a universal business principle, is that if you want to make more money, you should be spending more of your time doing things that are more expensive to delegate that you're uniquely qualified to do. And because delegating ads is so cheap in this industry, it's like, why would you spend hours a week doing that well, if you're going to do it well? Or why would you leave something that is so freaking core, right? So vital to your lead generation and eventual sales process to putting no effort into it, because that's the other side that you could go to. I'm not going to spend hours a week. I put up an ad once a month. Well, guess what? You're going to get shit results, right? So why would you not just delegate it? We're going to give you stuff in case you're hard headed and you know, don't want to just work with the best people in the industry. At least that's what my mom says about us, for 30 days free. Just wouldn't recommend it.
And we will add a link in the description, 2 links in the description, right above the timestamps. If you look right below in the description, one is to an episode that is a deep dive all about this question of, should I run my own ads as a gym owner? And another is, I'm thinking about hiring a media buyer, aka an ads person. And in both those episodes, we go through an excruciating but very useful and helpful detail on GR's thoughts about those 2 questions. All right, if I am either running ads or just marketing the gym, what kind of offer should I run?
There are effectively 4 buckets of offers that I look at. My 2 favorite, maybe I should do my 2 least favorite first. So you've got LBOs, which we've talked about extensively as to why we recommend you don't run LBOs. All right, there's a whole episode on that. LBOs are your paid, like, short-term, time-limited trials. 14 days for $99, 21 for this, whatever. So you can run LBOs. They're my least favorite option. You can run high-ticket long-term, like transformation-esque ads. So this would be like 8 weeks plus, typically 8 to 12 weeks, you know, real high ticket, crazy total transformation stuff, what have you. You can run what is called a curiosity driven offer. So there's probably 2 buckets of ads that you're going to run. One is a curiosity driven offer, right? Or you're not going to necessarily run these at the same time. Let me rephrase this. There's 2 potential paths you have in advertising any given offer. You can go curiosity based, which is basically where, you know, it might be spring specials or pre-sale, you know, big pre-sale offers, whatever it is, but you're not getting into the detail of the specific offer, right? So we do great with what we call it premium personal training, and it'll be like, you know, something summer or whatever, right? A seasonal thing that doesn't get into, oh, it's 21 days for this, or it's this price, or it's free for XYZ time period. You can go curiosity driven on a high ticket offer as one option, and you might do okay. The other basically type of advertisement you can run is a specific offer, right? And that would be like, if you're going to advertise an LBO, you might do 21-day blankety blank, whatever the hell, jump start, right? And you could put the price in the ad if you want to. I don't necessarily recommend it unless you're going really, really low price, 21 for 21, 14 for 14, things like that. So you can go offer specific and you can go curiosity, right? With the higher ticket option, again, 8+ week, like total transformation thing, you could do either one of those options for that type of offer. Typically with an LBO, you're not going to go curiosity. You're going to do offer specific, but it tends to lead to a higher cost per lead, right? My hypothesis there, like, I can't tell you this is why it happens for sure, but I can tell you, like, experientially, what we see is you're going to get a higher cost per lead on those. My hypothesis there is just because people are thinking they have to commit to a longer time period. So marketing that, like, longer term thing, you market a 6-month total transformation, this, that, and the other. It's like, oh shit, I got to commit to 6 months of this. I got to commit to 3 months of this. Like, that sounds like a lot. So it tends to be a higher cost per lead. And then you've got to have really, really, like, banger sales skills. You got to be a savage when it comes to the sales side and be really, really good at that stuff to be able to convert those humans. Now, the good side of the higher ticket, like, transformation stuff, if you can do it, is you can tend to sell these things more as a paid in full. And that can make your initial, like, cash conversion cycle much shorter. So whereas most of these gyms are going to end up doing something where maybe it's a little bit of a higher ticket up front, a few $100, and then they go into the recurring memberships with a high ticket, like, total transformation type thing, you might be selling a $3K plus type program as a paid in full. And if you're really good at sales, sometimes you can execute on getting a good percentage of those people who sign up to pay in full right away. Well, if you sign up one client at $3K, right, that pays in full, for a lot of gym budgets, like, oh, well, I just paid for my ads this month. Like, this is nice, right? But there's some downsides to running those offers. This is why they're in my least favorite buckets. My 2 favorite buckets are either free offers, which we've talked about extensively. And with a free offer, one of my principles of marketing is, if you've got it, flaunt it. So I've had conversations with gym owners where, the guy was really fit on the other side. Like he was like, you could tell he was in shape. Like he wasn't like, oh, looks like a bodybuilder, but he was in shape. And he was talking to me about his story and stuff. He's like, yeah, I've lost like 150 pounds. What the fuck? Right? Like, that's a very rare thing for a gym owner to have. Like, you have been your client. If you've got it, freaking flaunt it. Like, your story should actually be on the website, right? Because you're not like the typical, like, oh, I used to, like freaking James Pratt. Well, I'm going to put myself in the same bucket. Oh, I used to be an athlete. And I've always like been in the gym and and I have some muscles and look like I've worked out in the past. Like James looks like a freaking, jacked and handsome, whatever. Like people don't care about that. That's not like an inspiring thing to people, right? Like that's not going to inspire the 45-year-old mom. She's like, yeah, but you've always had it, right? Like I've never had it. How are you going to help me? Again, like you want to make it about the person on the other side. But the guy that lost 150 pounds, he's been his client. So if you've got that, you should flaunt that. Like it should be on your website, things like that. Well, if you're offering a free offer, or if you're marketing a free offer, don't hide the fact that it's free. That should not be a curiosity-driven thing. That should be a direct offer. Hey, it's you're offering 30-day free trial. Like we probably shouldn't hide that in our ads, right? For GMM, like when James runs a 30-day free trial for Pratt, should we hide that or should we make it a direct offer thing? Like if you've got it, you freaking flaunt it. And so with a free offer, you're going to make that basically front and center as a part of your ad. The good thing with the free offer is your cost per lead can tend to be lower, certainly in comparison to the other two options that we've already talked about. It's really easy to get people in the door because the follow-up process is going to be easier if you don't have to talk about price, because you can just say like, hey, like, look, worst case scenario, you come in, you use this and abuse this for 14 days and you learn some things that you can take off and do on your own. Best case scenario, yeah, you find your new fitness family and change your life forever. But like we don't have to worry about that. It's about you coming in and just like trialing things for 14 days, see if you find your new fitness home here, right? Something like that. Like that's a much easier conversation for a salesperson to have than like, oh, we've got lots of options. Like the goal of the session is to come in and customize and find the thing that's the right fit for you. It's kind of like, taking your car to the mechanic, right? The mechanic's not going to be able to give you an estimate until they see what things look like under the hood, right? So what time are you planning on training with us, right? Do you try to overcome that objection if you have like a price-driven thing that's not free? Can it be done? Yes. Is it done all the time? Absolutely. Are you still going to get people booked? Yes. Is it higher friction than a free offer? Also, yes. Right? So free offers can be really nice. The downsides there is it delays your cash collection cycle, right? You've got to have a good conversion mechanism coming off of the initial trial offer. So how do we turn those initial trials into members down the line? Do I think there's like a valid case for, oh, like free people are going to be tire kickers? I used to say that. Again, listen to the James Pratt episode. Like we basically squash that completely. I think we talk about it in the LBO episode as well. But you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth if you listen to James's episode with us here. And the fourth offer that you can run, this is my favorite, is what I call the contrasting AB. So with these, it's typically going to be a 6-week front end offer program. The magic in the contrasting AB happens in the actual sales process. From a marketing perspective, you can either do, again, same concept, curiosity-driven offers for this. So we have people that are doing contrasting AB that are just running curiosity ads, or you can do like 6-week, blah, 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 whatever, like summer shred, whatever, you can have a seasonal thing, fall back into fitness challenge, 6-week this. Like you can do that and then still sell the contrasting AB on the other side. The cost per lead there tends to be like a nice number for most gyms if you run good ads for these offers like we do on behalf of our lovely gym owner partners. The magic though is on the sales side. So typically what we do there is, all right, option A is our 6-week blah, 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 whatever the heck you're going to call it, includes this, and this. And the investment for that is going to be, now tangent sidebar for the gym owner on the other side. I like to price your A offer. It's going to be a 6-week thing. Price it at 7 to 10x your membership billed weekly. So if your membership is $99 a week, you're a small group studio, whatever it is. If your membership's $99 a week, you should charge anywhere from $700 to $1,000 for your 6-week offer. Okay. So the investment for that in this case, we'll say we want to move people into the membership. So we're going to lean towards the higher end of that and charge $1,000 for our 6-week thing. Includes this, and this. The investment for that 6-week program is $1,000, $999, whatever you want to say. Option B, if you feel like we're the long-term answer to your health and fitness problems, you can join the Pratt personal training family. That includes this, and this when you sign up today. And the investment for that is $99 a week, and you get all the benefits of the 6-week program for free. Which one of those makes the most sense to you? Right? That's your close. Now you can adjust your pricing there. You can incentivize the price point to collect either more cash on the 6-week thing. So if I wanted to get more people to take me up on the 6 weeks, I would price it at 7x my membership builds weekly. If you just want more members, so you don't have to worry about the second sale conversation, then price it closer to 10x, right? The nice thing there is if your membership is priced appropriately, you collect a lot more cash up front. There's no second sale. They're just right into a membership on day one. We have gym owners doing this all the freaking time now, and it's just like a really pretty seamless thing. So I love those two options, contrasting AB and the free offer. There we go. Advertised as on a free offer, direct offer, if we've got it, flaunt it. On the contrasting AB, curiosity or direct offer.
And the nice thing is a gym owner can pull those levers, especially if they're working with gym member machine, to see which offer works. Maybe they do different ones different times of year.
Yep.
And whatnot. All right. Next question. Why am I getting leads, but no one is signing up?
Ooh, this is a big one to freaking diagnose. Assuming you're actually getting decent lead flow and you're getting like the right types of leads, then maybe it's not the ad. But in a lot of cases, it could just be like, dude, your ad does not speak to who you're actually attempting to sell to, who you actually serve on the other side. And so we need to adjust the ad. But this one is like a major question that takes all sorts of potential, analysis. It's like, is the ad hitting what we want to hit? The more common thing where more gym owners, I think, screw up in their sales process, in their funnel, if you will, is on the follow-up in the sales process, right? So if your follow-up sucks, you're not going to get people booked. If you haven't made a good connection, you haven't taken the blood pressure down, provided, certainty and clarity and alleviated anxiety on what happens at their first appointment with you, they're not going to show up, right? And then if we don't do a good job of identifying where they are, where they're trying to get to, and inserting our service as the ideal vehicle to get them where they want to go, they're not going to buy. Right. So what we would recommend if I was coaching a gym owner, if you want to pretend you're back at now I'm forgetting the name of your freaking gym because my brain isn't working today. But if we're going back, yeah, Lift. There you go. Yeah, Lift Gym makes perfect sense. So if we're going back to like the Lift Gym days and I was consulting you, I'd be like, all right, like let's look at everything. Let's look at the top number. Like how many leads are we getting? What's the cost per lead? Let's look at the next number. How many people are we booking for sales conversations? Okay, what's the show rate? And then finally, like how many of the people who show are actually buying, right? Because, if we get how many people are showing, then we know our no-show rate and everything else. And we're going to look at the number that is most red, that needs the most improvement, and then work on that thing. So that's how we work with people at GMM and get them to freaking scale up to crazy numbers way quicker than most people do. Yeah.
Yep. So the leaky bucket analysis of like where in the funnel is there a leak to plug?
Yeah.
How long does it take for ads to start working?
It really varies. So I always say marketing is a 9-letter word for experiment. That is not my quote. I just don't remember where I got it from, but it's really smart because marketing is a 9-letter word for experiment. So even if you work with us, right, like we've got more data on growing, in particular like small group personal training gyms. And at this point, probably as much data as anybody on growing gyms. We've spent multiple 8 figures on just gym ads, right, on behalf of our gyms and our clients' gyms. Like that's a lot of campaigns over a lot of years, over a long period of time, right? For a lot of gyms, all that stuff. It's still a test, right? Even when we run stuff. So, a lot of times we have clients that like hit the ground running, they get a bunch of leads really quickly. Like this whole, it takes a month. It depends on how much of the rest of the process is like dialed in already. Like you can get results pretty quickly. What we like to tell people at GMM is if we're not really, really happy with the trajectory or the actual growth within like a couple months of working with us, like end of month 1, moving into month 2, then we'll probably like fire ourselves. If we can't find something that like you're very clearly messing up on your side that we need to coach you up on. Now, if we can't coach you up on, if you're not open to that, then like we might fire you. Typically, it doesn't take that long. Like you shouldn't be waiting a couple weeks to get your first lead. You're typically
Oh,
seeing leads within like a day of us getting launched.
okay. So, GR, I've seen some different YouTube channels. I've seen some chatter on Instagram about different types of ads. So, I want you to settle it here. What's better, Facebook or Google ads for gyms?
They can both work. So in our experience, and we've had gyms come in and be like, oh yeah, well, like Google's had a way better ROI than Meta. And this agency told me that like Meta ads are trash and that Google's the only way to go. Like the people that are telling you that probably just fucking suck at Meta ads, right? So what we've seen, because we've got really good folks at both areas, and we didn't always have this. So like by the time I was selling ads to gym owners, like I was really, really fucking good at Meta. Didn't know much of anything about Google. We had to work on getting good at Google, and now after like hiring freaking experts that have run like bajillions of dollars of Google ads for local businesses and for gyms, what have you, I'm very confident in saying like, yeah, we're really fucking good at both now. Again, particularly in the gym space, which is all that matters to our dear listeners. What we see is Meta is still the highest ROI platform for gyms, right? Our normal recommendation is if you get to the point to where you have topped out the efficiency of your spend, like we talked about already on today's episode, if you get to the point where you've topped out your effective budget on Meta, then and only then would we potentially look at exploring Google. So it's like, if you've topped out the budget on Meta, and if the topped out budget on Meta is not granting you all of the acquisition that your business can handle, right? So there's some cases where it's like, dude, we're getting everything we need, and I don't want the operational complexity of signing up more people. Like we don't have the capacity to either follow up with more leads or close more people or onboard more people and do it really well so that people stay and pay and refer, all that stuff. And so there might be like, no, I'm good, right, with just Meta. If they still have, number one, money that they can spend on marketing, and number two, the operational capacity to handle more leads, more customers, etc., then we would look at Google as the next thing. But like right now, and this could change tomorrow, Meta's still the highest ROI platform.
And a lesson we see often is don't abandon one channel that's either working well because of shiny object syndrome or because you haven't invested in the actual filling up the leaky holes in the bucket of follow-up and whatnot, like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
So awesome. All right. Do I need a website or can I get by with just a landing page?
So if you're like sub 5, 10K a month, you'd be okay with a landing page. Otherwise, yeah, like you're going to need a website. Our record back in the day, we had a client that was just running ads with us that literally like did not have a website at all. They got to like 30K a month without even having a website. It's like a website is not the highest priority thing. I do think it's more important now with LLMs and AEO and SEO and everything else, which like, by the way, like we build the best websites in the industry. So you should just claim a 30-day free trial at GMM. We'll build one for you. But yeah, like if you're sub 5, 10K just trying to figure this stuff out, go to the what do I do when I'm broke, and just like you can have a simple funnel, simple shitty website, and you can fix that later.
All right, GR. And the big question we'll end with is how should I know if I'm ready to get started with Facebook ads?
So the first thing, there's three buckets of people that should not run paid ads. The first bucket would be if you're completely thrilled with the trajectory of your gym's growth based on the organic efforts that you are currently putting in. So both the trajectory of your growth and the inputs required to achieve said trajectory, then you should not run paid ads, right? It's like, keep calm and carry on, right? Like you're good with your growth trajectory and you're good with the amount of effort you're having to put into organic. Don't worry about ads. You're fine. Okay. The next bucket would be our beautiful business babies, our startup people. And so if you're just starting up, now we've had people like literally Carly, one of our testimonials that we shared, the other day, where it's like, she's at 85K a month in like 2 years or something of opening her gym, started with this literally from freaking zero. Like for every Carly out there, there's folks that are riskier to take on as beautiful business babies. Because if you're a beautiful business baby and you've not proven your product, like have proof of concept, we're going to do a great job for the people that are coming in and paying you. Then if we run ads to a shitty product and you do a shitty job on the back end, all we're doing is speeding up the rate of your reputation going in the shitter. That is not a good thing. The third bucket of folks that should not run paid ads are folks that are just looking for red. And there's a whole like history that I can get into with this. We might post another video of a talk where I like mention this specific thing. But here's the deal, right? Humans are going to find what we're looking for. I'm going to give you the Reader's Digest version. If you are looking for reasons that paid ads are not going to work for your gym, like, you'll find them. You're going to find plenty. And you're not going to be like psychologically in the right place to run paid ads. However, if you're looking for reasons for them to work, like, you're going to find plenty of reasons for that too, right? Look at our freaking testimonials and people that are opening multiple locations after freaking struggling to get one off the ground, right? Like, there's plenty of reasons to run paid ads. But if you're just going to look for red, be grumpy, whatever, like, look for reasons that paid ads are going to be shit, don't run paid ads. Certainly don't try to pay us because I don't want to take your money. You're going to be really annoying to work with, right? Wait until you're pissed off, good and pissed off, and ready to run paid ads. Other stuff you need to consider when it comes to running paid ads, at this point, you've got to have a good sales and marketing automation CRM. Again, GMM provides this for you. If you just want to try 30 days free at GMM, like, we build all the shit so you don't have to be a tech expert. But fast follow-up is no longer optional. Like, you have to have that as a part of the puzzle. You also have to have the time or the money to pay someone to call the freaking leads. Because if you don't call the freaking leads, it's also not going to work for you. Now, I have a pitch and a solve for that shit too, right? Like, our AI caller's been freaking bonkers, like booking a crazy percentage of our clients' prospects without them having to lift a finger. Like, you can ask about that on your free trial call with GMM. It's way the hell cheaper than you're thinking it is. Like, we need to raise the price. Like, it's stupid to have like a full-time employee that never gets sick and does this good calling people's leads. But you've got to either have the money or the time to follow up with the leads, because if you don't follow up with the leads, you're going to have a bad time. And you have to have the psychological, basically, readiness to deal with the costs. And that's not all financial. So like, if you're going to go bankrupt if a month or two of ads doesn't go right, like, you shouldn't run ads. There are costs to running ads, obviously, but there's also like financial costs to running ads. There's also the psychological cost. If you've grown on referrals, you're at 70 members, 60 members, and all of your growth has come from like referrals and like people that have followed you for ages, and they're coming in basically just saying like, don't creep me out. I already know all the details. Like, as long as you don't creep me out, I'm going to throw money at you. And then you go to doing cold traffic, like, you're going to get rejected more often. Like, it's part of the game, right? It is one of the costs. Like, if you want to scale, like, there's not a single client in our universe that has scaled to multiple locations, opened multiple locations profitably, like, grown and scaled, that has not had paid ads as a part of their acquisition strategy, right? But they have to deal with the cost of either them or someone on their team, typically now, of someone getting rejected on the phone, of someone being told to go play in traffic, of someone saying like, who the fuck are you? Like, fuck you, leave me alone, right? Like, you're going to get some of that. You're going to get, like, you might have to up-level your skills in your sales processes, right? Both on the follow-up side and on closing. If you're all wrapped up in the identity of, I'm the best closer of all time, boy, you just put them in front of me, I'm going to shut them down. Like, I hear that from gyms all the freaking time, and they suck at sales, right? When we listen to the recordings. But you have wrapped up in your identity, you're the best closer because you close 9 out of 10 of the referrals that we're going to buy anyway if you didn't creep them out. Like, that's not a good look. So you're going to have to be ready to potentially up-level skills. You got to have a little bit of mindset maturity to deal with the costs. And that is who should run paid ads. If you want more of this, you have more questions, submit the questions via DM at Gym Member Machine on Instagram. Like, subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff. We love you so much, listeners. See you in the next episode.